Back now with Marty Biron. Marty, the Leafs have 17 games left to settle a big question. Who's Toronto's starting goalie for the playoffs? Ilya Samsonov has won 10 of his last 11 starts. Is the title of playoff starter now officially his to lose?
Way too early to call, Gino. I'm looking at the next 17 games and saying this is where the battle starts. Who is going to be hot in the last 5 to 7 games? Walking into the playoff with all that momentum. Look, I look at Samsonov since his little reset, right, in December. He's come back. He's 13-3. That is second most wins since the middle of January. That's good, but that's a team stat. Okay, goals against average. He's 14th at 235 in that span. That's also a bit of a team stat, a little bit more of a goalie stat. Save percentage, he's 26 at 912. It's a good number, but 26 is down the list. And goals save above expectation. He's just inside the top 30. So is he performing well? Yes. Is it a team thing or is it Samsonov? I'm still not sure. Joseph Woll has only played 3 games since their injury. His numbers are not looking that great with an 88-1 save percentage. But when you look at his goal save above expectation, he's still 21st in the league in that time per game. So I think Woll, despite the bad numbers, still has a little bit of an edge for me when I look at the body of work for the season.
Marty, isn't it really troublesome when you're this deep into the season, you're going down the stretch, and you don't know who your starting goalie is going to be in the playoffs? Isn't that a big concern?
It is a big concern. And look, we all knew it was going to be the Leafs' concern this year. When you compare the Leafs goaltender to everybody else in the playoff race in the East, if you think of the 8 teams that are in the playoffs right now, you're probably saying, the Leafs have the 7th best goaltending, right? You probably just put Philadelphia behind them. But even if you look, obviously, Tampa, the New York Islanders, they're ahead. They're in the wild card spot. They're much worse as a team than the Toronto Maple Leafs. But I think their goaltending is ahead of Toronto. So, yeah, it's a bit of a concern because you want to go into the playoffs knowing that you're building towards something. Right now, you're rolling the dice. But the Leafs knew they were going to roll the dice from the start of the season until now and probably all the way to the playoffs. So I get that it's a concern, but it's one that they knew they were going to have to deal with all season long.
All right, then where would you rank, whether it's Woll or Samsonov, where would you rank the Leafs goaltending compared to the other teams that are virtual locks to make the playoffs in the East?
You know what? They're in the bottom of even the teams that are competing to try to get into the playoffs. You look at Pittsburgh. I think that Tristan Jarry is ahead of where the Leafs are. He leads the league in shutouts. You look at Buffalo with Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. He would be ahead of Samsonov or Woll because of the way that he's been playing since the middle of December. So even if you look at not just the 8 teams that are in the playoffs, but you add team number 9, 10, and 11, they're probably in the bottom 3 right now. I think Philly, I would think Detroit may be in that position, and maybe Washington as well. Teams that are competing and trying to get back into the race. So it is a bit of a concern and a trouble for the Leafs to think that your goaltending, in my opinion, is that far lower. Even if the teams are not in the playoffs right now, they're still below some of those.
A bit of a concern by what you just said. It sounds like it's a major concern. Only 2 playoff teams have worse team goals against average. The Islanders, who are clinging to the second wildcard spot, and the Lightning, who played a big chunk of their season without their number 1, Andrei Vasilevsky.